Dragon Quest Builders is such a strange game that I never really saw coming. It honestly just came out of nowhere, yet it looks kind of like Minecraft, right? I mean, look at the voxel-based environment. I thought these clones were kind of old news. Yet here we are with something very similar in a series as old and as renowned as Dragon Quest, the classic RPG that rivaled Final Fantasy back on the NES. And, well, yeah, it's honestly not too far of a stretch. They've had plenty of spin-off games like Dragon Quest Heroes, Dragon Quest Swords, there was Rocket Slime on the DS, and this one isn't exactly a Minecraft clone either. Sure, it has those elements of crafting and survival and all that junk, but the strange thing is that it actually works pretty well. It's like a city-building RPG, if that makes any sense. It has the elements of action RPGs, destroyable environments, there's simple dungeons, recognizable characters, but at the heart of this, it's you, the hero, trying to build a city that can stand and confront the evil darkness that has taken over the land. The only DQ games that I've ever played are this one and Dragon Quest VII. DQ Builders is, from what I understand, set after the events of the hero dying in Dragon Warrior 1. The series used to be known as Dragon Warrior way back when. So you wake up in this tomb and you build a stairwell out of dirt, you plant a flag in the dilapidated ruins of a town, and now that you've essentially become the mayor, this is your home, and you must protect it from monsters, encourage new NPCs to move in, build shops and bedrooms and workstations, improve the defenses, anything that you might be expected to do. And as you go along the story, divided into different chapters, you'll have different towns to build up. It's kind of funny because the tutorial voice literally tells you that you're not the hero, you're the builder. In fact, that's what everyone refers to you as, the legendary builder. So I'm going to stick to the heart of this game mostly, and that is the building. It's pretty standard fare for a while. Break blocks, reassemble them as your town or whatever you're trying to build, rooms, stores, whatever. There's a bunch of materials, and you'll slowly progress up a standard tier of equipment such as wood, stone, copper, steel, etc. Obviously, copper will break things and kill things faster than wood. You've seen this all before. But where it stands out, though, is the focus on building and managing your city. So the game is divided into several chapters, and when you start, you'll only have one person in your city besides yourself, and she kind of acts as a tutorial in a way, guiding you through what you need to collect and build to progress. You'll need to make all manner of rooms, such as a blacksmith with a forge, a kitchen, private and public rooms, a wardrobe. Each room has a set of requirements, like a bedroom has to have a light, a bedroll or something to sleep on, and a door. This kind of reminds me a bit of Terraria, how in order to have NPCs move in, you need certain furniture. From there, you could build however you want, whether you want the floor made out of hay or the walls made out of stone or wood, it's completely up to you. You do have free reign, but you still have discernible goals. It's not cryptic or lacking a narrative like other games in the genre like Minecraft. The one thing I will say though is that you'll likely need some time to adjust to placing things from a top-down perspective. You can rotate your camera in any direction you want, sure, but it's still awkward. It can get even worse when you're in confined areas like caves or dungeons. What's also awkward is the size of your city. It's very tiny, and I would say it's a stretch to call it even a village. When you have built up and saved your town from the large boss monster that you fight at the end of every chapter, you'll be warped to another town and lose progress in your initial town. This may sound like kind of a disappointment, but personally I think it keeps the game fresh and moving forward at a quick pace. The first chapter, covering Cantlin, a city from the very first Dragon Warrior game, kind of acts as a tutorial. The game really starts to pick up and become significantly more challenging in the future chapters, and new items unlock at a breakneck pace. One item that is really satisfying for me to use is called the Wrecking Ball, which is basically a giant bomb. It literally leaves craters and does a ton of damage to groups of enemies. I kind of used to cheese some of the harder enemies that I found laying around in the world, like this dragon here, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't super satisfying. Rather than gaining experience through destroying monsters, you get experience through placing items and furniture in your town, building it up, so to speak. You'll craft better gear to protect yourself rather than getting stat boosts from leveling up, which means combat is admittedly very light. It's legit just running up to a monster and messing triangle over and over until they die. And then if they attack back, you just kind of cut them around in circles. It's simple, but then again, it's not the main priority of the game. It can be frustrating because your weapons are so tiny that you literally have to sit on top of some of your enemies to attack them. So it leads to taking a lot of damage through no fault of your own. Sometimes NPCs will send you out to gather specific materials from enemies or send you out to kill something like this giant scorpion thing. And when I killed this guy, I actually got the ability to do a spinning slash. Now the game kind of feels like Zelda. Not really though, I'm only kidding. Although to be honest, the main character's outfit does look a little bit like Link, only in blue this time. From my experience in Dragon Quest VII, the one thing I know about this series of games is that all of them have a very distinct charm to them. The dialogue and writing in these titles is just absolutely great. Citizens are super funny. Like this guy said, "Buy my bulging biceps," when I turned in a quest for him. And there also seems to be a running theme of your character's face looking like a potato. Everything just kind of feels cohesive in that way. To go along with that, the visuals are absolutely fantastic. The game runs at a very solid 60 frames per second, but you can't see that because I'm recording this right through my PlayStation 4 with the share feature. That's why there's also a watermark in a corner. The music is okay. I've heard that it kind of shares some tunes with older games, but honestly, I wouldn't really recognize them. One thing I think could really benefit Dragon Quest Builders is a multiplayer mode. It would be awesome to build a town with other people and environments like this. It's easy to pick up, it's fun to play, and you'd be able to go out and hunt creatures with a buddy or two. It would just be that much better. Unfortunately, that doesn't exist, and we can only share our creations. Again, some of the larger creations and castles that people make just bring up the camera issues like that I have with the game. I think that these building games totally benefit from having more players in them, so it's a little bit disappointing to see not any true multiplayer in this game. But the real question is, should you buy Dragon Quest Builders? And the answer is, it totally depends. If you love these building type games and you want something with a little more guidance and structure, then this is perfect and you'll love it. The game really starts to pick up after the first chapter, which took me probably about 5 hours to complete. That being said, this is not a typical Dragon Quest game, and it's not a typical RPG either. The RPG aspects are rather light, and it functions more of an action-oriented city builder, if that even makes any sense. I think I'm just making up genres at this point. Currently, Dragon Quest Builders is available on the PlayStation 4 and the Vita. I don't know if there's any word on it coming to Steam. More platforms would be great, but as of right now, it's PlayStation 4 and Vita only. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this quick little review of Dragon Quest Builders. If you enjoyed this, bop that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to see more reviews that I've done, I suggest checking out the review playlist, and also I recommend watching my review of RimWorld. It's a very unforgiving, very satisfying base management game, so check that out if you're interested. Again, thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you later. Peace.